Well, good morning. Let's begin this meeting. This is the first public meeting of the Louisville Comprehensive Review Commission that was established by the Kentucky General Assembly last year in 2022 with the objective of reviewing the current state of the consolidated government in Jefferson County. Our commission, if you will, is to review what about the current structure is working. To the extent that there might be changes that are suggested or recommended, we will make those to the legislature. We've been meeting since August of last year on a monthly basis. We have been collecting data on the services that are performed to the citizens of the county and to the various cities, the Urban Services District as well. And also they can look at the taxes that have been collected by the various governmental entities in Jefferson County to understand where the tax money is coming from, where the services are being provided, and the extent to which things are, let's say, meeting the objectives of the merger and the current needs of the citizens of Jefferson County. My name is Earl Jones. I'm co-chair of the commission, and I'd like the other commissioners to introduce themselves, those who are in attendance here today. Cindy?
Councilwoman Cindy Fowler. I represent the 14th District out in Southwest Jefferson County, and the council president asked me to be on this group.
I'm Mary Ann Butler, former councilwoman, and I'm the mayor's designee.
Good morning. My name is Scott Schoenberger. I'm the president and CEO of the Al J. Schneider Company, and I'm a GLI appointee.
Good morning, Shelby Somerville. I do government affairs for Greater Louisville, Inc.
Good morning, I'm Bonnie Jung, Mayor of Douglas Hills and past president of Jefferson County League of Cities.
Okay, so we're here to get input from citizens. I'm not sure how many we have here today, but I know we've had at least someone sign up, and I'd ask that individual please come forward, identify yourself, and make your remarks. Please bring anything you've got. Is that something you want us all to see? Yes. Okay.
How you doing? I live in Teller Berry, Jarrett Randall. I do stuff with my neighborhood association, and also I'm also teaming up with as of this week with Mark Pence to pitch some ideas to y'all too. What Mark Pence is Muhammad Ali's grandson, if you don't know who he is. One of the things we were trying to, according to the NIH, gun violence is #1 leading cause of death of young people, surpassing car accidents in 2020. One thing I was pitching, several things I'm going to be pitching today as ideas for the city of Louisville is one of them is midnight basketball and Scared Stiff. Scared Stiff and Scared Straight are two different things. Scared Stiff is like, as harsh as this may sound, just like playing in a funeral. It's making a quilt, all the gun violence victims of the youth in Louisville. Family members make them, and then playing like courtroom scenes and stuff at school assemblies, and making the youth think twice about pulling the trigger, because some of them don't really understand the consequences of it because they've never planned funerals and stuff like that before at that age. Like I said, midnight basketball and scare stiff are in around 29 cities in America right now, including Nashville, Oakland, Huntsville, Austin, Houston, Oklahoma, Fort Worth, San Francisco, Sacramento, Montgomery, Alabama, Atlanta. I think that would help. Also, Nashville, Tennessee is kind of where I got the idea from this, and also our state park rangers. The city of Louisville does not have park rangers. Nashville, Tennessee converted 38 of their police into park rangers. I think we have the money to do it. We have open positions, LMPD jobs. We could have converted some of those, and maybe there would have been more interest in that. And we also started a new gang thing this year. We could have used some of the money for that. I mean, I'm sure, Chickasaw Park, Ballard Park, which is on here. I always face back and forth one of the Grants, Quissaguin. There's a lot of issues with that. Also, I think each neighborhood plagued by violence should have a paid community advocate to work with the kids and the youth and everything in that neighborhood. Like I live in Taylor Berry, we're unincorporated. We're not St. Matthews, we're not J-Town or Shively. We only have community volunteers like me that advocate for that neighborhood. Like our Metro Council person is 70% Shively, and we're like 20% Taylor Berry. So, I mean, he helps, but we obviously could use more focus on a micro level in each neighborhood that's being plagued by violence, like Taylor Berry, Russell, Portland, etc. Again, if Mark Pence and me are trying to get funding through either the city or the state of Kentucky or a private donor to help us start midnight basketball in Louisville, Kentucky, and Scared Stiff, if anybody's interested, please reach out to us. He also runs a group called Gloves, Not Guns. Again, he's Muhammad Ali's grandson, Mark Pence. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, is Mr. Jack Will here? You want to listen out loud for a couple minutes? Comments?
I will intend to speak to the commission at a later date. I'm not prepared this morning because I've already provided Mr. Nemus with some documentation on one of the issues. I do have several issues I want to discuss. I'm rather disappointed in how few of the members of the commission are here this morning. Unfortunately, and I've observed most of the meetings of the commission since you started. Understand you began with some real challenges and simply getting a contract signed so you could begin the evaluations. I've been disappointed in how few of the commissioners do attend the meetings, or how many are absent, maybe I should say, from each of the meetings, and got some things at a future date that I will want to present. Probably, since we're limited to 3 minutes, and I've already spent 2 minutes and 9 seconds, or about a minute, I guess. There's some other things that I will want to present, and I'll probably have to come back to 2 or 3 different sessions, but I did not come prepared this morning.
Well, we do hope you do come back. And by the way, depending upon what the attendance is, obviously that timeline is
That's
flexible under the
disappointing to me
circumstances.
also. I don't know how much that is failure to get the information out, how much of it is failure of the public to know what's been going on. I studied with Mr. Nemus on this bill, followed his tracking of the bill.
Which Mr. Nemes are you referring to? by the way?
Jason,
Yes, thank you.
who was the sponsor of House Bill 314. Several issues in that I was very interested in, so I was very interested in this commission. Followed it. I wish more of the public had been involved throughout the process. I think that's been a real lacking from what's happened because we haven't had more public input. And I don't know how much the public is really aware of some of the things. Gentleman that just spoke, I think he had some very good issues from what I heard. But I think what this commission, if I understand it correctly, needs to be looking at what are the issues with metro government as it's consolidated.
And that is indeed
can-
what we've been looking at.
Can be
So,
improved, and
yeah.
that's where I want to address my comments when I do come to make
Great,
comments.
thank you. Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
How did you learn about the commission and this hearing, and do you have any suggestions about how the word might get out better?
I think it should have been a long-term process. Back TV stations, newsletters, all of this should have been going on months ago. It should have started back when the commission started. It's going to be a difficult process to get, I believe, and I'll just express my opinion, I think it's going to be a difficult process to get John Q. public interested and involved. They may sit back and they might gripe and they might complain, but getting up and actually saying something, looking at things in detail to the point that they're willing to come in and talk about it. You and I met at St. Matthew's and I'm sorry, I'm not able to recall your name at this
Yes,
point, but you and I
Jones.
met at the St. Matthew's meeting when it was held at the St. Matthew's City Hall. I wish that as a citizen, it had been passed around throughout the county so that the commission would have met in different areas. I think that would have brought more public attention to it instead of having all the meetings downtown. But I understand some of the issues with technology, getting it onto the public venue. I have been concerned that, as I listened to the meeting this past week, the open meeting law in Kentucky requires, as I understand it, that anyone who's on that as the commission members and are participating need to be in front of a camera where their face is actually showing on the Facebook page that you're using. And I will assure you that there were several members on the commission this past meeting on Friday that were not on there because I was watching. And there are just some things that I believe should have been done better. I am hopeful. I don't see how, at this point, this commission can't even come close to investigating and reviewing all of the things that you need to review in the time that's period. You have 2 months to have a report ready for the General Assembly.
Yes, look, we're aware of that, and by the way, we have been collecting data. We have had that, that's been our principal focus, as a matter of fact, to collect data on exactly the way the merger has been working. So I can assure you of that at least. The issues that you've raised otherwise about getting the word out is one I think we'll take back and try to work on between now and the end of our process. Certainly between now and to promote the hearings the meetings that are scheduled yet, as well as then to get the public aware of the fact that we are preparing this report. So thank you.
And
we'll see you
I
at
do
your next meeting.
recognize the data that you've been getting. I've been listening, some fantastic information that's been garnered, but I think there's some other information. Did anyone this morning tell me how much money the Urban Services District collected in taxes last year?
Yes, we can.
And what was their budget? How much money did they spend? That's something I haven't heard in listening to the board meeting or the commission meetings.
Well, I don't know how you missed that because it's been displayed both in terms of graphs as well as the Dr. Coombs providing the information verbally.
I know he's
So-
been providing information on what the small cities get, different areas that get business and occupation tax was a big issue this past time, comparing it with Nashville and other cities, other areas. And I may have missed,
Well, just at our last meeting, that information was provided,
okay.
just yesterday.
I wish, as a citizen, that I had the opportunity or had copies of that information. Because that would make my job as I come before you in the future much easier to be able to go to that information and to bring your attention to specific items. But I will bring you something at a later date.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, my name is Jerry Mcgraw. I live in the east part of Jefferson County. I am an attorney. I am retired from the Jefferson County Police Department. I started studying state and local government in the 1960s when I was in college on my first degree. I have a master's in community development, and so I have a pretty long-term interest in state and local government.
I think we'll have to find a way to post some of the information rather than individual sending. Yeah. Ma'am, I'm sorry, you walked in after we'd begun? Oh, Julie. Hey, Julie, you're sitting. Why are you out there? Yeah.
No, you can answer for me. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you do. If you don't mind, do you mind coming back up? Because I'm kind of interested in something that you said about a program. Thank you. So midnight basketball, that's just like an organized basketball games that you would have in a certain place where you have organized teams and it's through the nighttime?
Well, midnight basketball is just a catchy name to bring kids into it. It just means after hours basketball. It could be 10 p.m., 11 p.m., or whatever. I know, like our community centers, they extended the hours a little bit, but at one time in our neighborhood, our community center was closing until or bury at 7 on Friday, and not open at all on the weekends. And I live in a neighborhood, there's nothing positive for kids to do at that time, and they're just wandering around. And and so it was just an idea I had. I found it online, and then I was going to just do it myself, and then I found out it was copyrighted nationally. And I got the idea from Earl the Goat, Man the Goat, from old video from like the 80s or 90s or something, if you ever seen that movie Rebound. Um, and so I reached out to the guy who runs it, and I think it's like a $1,500 copyright fee, and it includes the midnight basketball and scared stiff. I could do my own version of it with gloves, not guns, and me and Mark Pence were talking about that this weekend. But will I get sued? Or I mean, I don't. So I rather do it the right way, and I think it'll help. And like, there's a reason all these cities are doing it. I think I named off. It kind of died off for a while, and because of all the new crime from the 2020 after the pandemic, it's starting to pick back up. A lot of cities are picking midnight basketball back up again. It's basically the kids are playing basketball, then they have a positive person from the community come and talk to them from like, I don't know, a Job Corps or something, and or about jobs, or from a college or something, and to be a part of the program, you have to listen to that guest speaker also. So like I said, it's in Nashville, Oakland, Huntsville, Austin, Houston, Oklahoma, Fort Worth, San Francisco, Sacramento, Montgomery, Alabama, Atlanta. Those are just some examples. I don't have all the cities listed. I just thought it would help give kids something to do at night at that hour. I mean, not having a community center open on the weekends, and in a neighborhood like mine in Teller Berry, and there's a lot of other neighborhoods like mine, I feel like it's you got kids wandering around, and you might say, well, on this other side of town, out in East Louisville, we got this or that, but how the kid's going to get to it if they don't have a car? There's a lot of people in my neighborhood parents do not have vehicles. So I'm
bringing things back to community area. So Scared Straight, I know what Scared Straight is. I threatened my son to do Scared Straight when he was about 10 years old. Come on, we're going to go look at the jail, and this is not what you want. But so Scared Stiff is a similar thing, only you take it further, where kids can realize the potential of what they're doing, and the end is the end.
Yeah, well, they're actually kind of completely different. Scared Straight is going to jail with the inmates. Scared Stiff is like planning a funeral. I know, like when my mother died in an accident, she was single, and I had to go to Radman's funeral home, and I had to pick her dress out and the coffin out and write her obituary from scratch. A lot of the kids at that age they're shooting each other, and they think it's just about the beef between them and the other kid. And it's more to it than that. I mean, a whole chain of events happen when somebody gets when this happens. I mean, you got the coroner's office involved. I don't know if you ever seen Krista Gwynn. Their son was shot in a drive-by. They're activists now, and the husband's always got the Yankees hat on. They were about a month ago. They were in the courtroom with their son's killer, and the sister had to sit in there and talk to the judge about it. And you could even play, if you got permission from them, or you could even play that at the school assembly. And it also includes making a quilt of all the gun violence victims of the youth and the families make, and then you take it to the school. And a lot of times the kid, from what I hear, when I read up on the program, a lot of times the kids know somebody on there, and it just shows them it's a big deal. And it's not just at that age they haven't experienced it. I'm sure all of us up here experienced stuff like that, but at that age they haven't. It's just showing them that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I've got my card that I'd like to maybe talk to you later
Okay,
on one of those. Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, I wanted to make note of the fact of the meetings that are coming up. So as I mentioned earlier, today is the first of these meetings, and it's the only one that's being held on a Saturday. The other meetings will be held during the week, and they all begin at 6 o'clock. So those future locations are on the 17th, this coming Monday, will be at the Louisville Community Center. On the following day, the Tuesday, the 18th, at Valley High School. The following Monday, again on the 24th, at Eastern High School. And then Tuesday, the 25th, at Atherton High School. And then the final meeting, which will be held on Monday, the 31st of July, will be back downtown at City Hall. Okay. If there are no other speakers, I think we're going to adjourn this meeting.